Dwi'n joio dysgu Cymraeg achos mae'n gwych. Yeah.
Gabin ydw i, and this is my dysgu Cymraeg journey.
We are here in my first ever Welsh lesson. Hello, Ara.
Gabin, nice to meet you.
Dwi'n moyn dysgu Cymraeg. Oh, dwi'n mynd i sosban bach y beri ar y dyn.
Outstanding.
It's just made me excited for this dysgu Cymraeg journey.
Watch and follow along the highs and lows of learning a new language.
Hello, Gabin ydw i, and we are currently in Parc Drylech in Rhan. Since my first lesson with Rhan, I've seen a lot of confidence in saying Welsh words and just saying it with like I know it. I'm not at the stage where I feel like I can string sentences and hold a conversation, but that's all part of the journey. Seeing the video come out, I remember I was like, oh, the vid's out. It was kind of just happened, and the reaction afterwards and the love and the energy and the support that people have shown is really touching. I was going through the comments like yesterday, and I was like, damn, you know, this has an effect and it has an impact, and that was one of the aims from the beginning. So it's just like you have to keep going. Howell Williams, who replied to the video, and he said, "You are a hero, my friend. How you're a hero, and you're now my friend. Let's go for a pint. Everything's open now." Sean Drobbins, da iawn, Gabin. Go for it. Good pronunciation. Yeah, come on, I'm getting there. There's also Katie Davis, who says she's a poet, spoken word usually, and she speaks Welsh as a second language, as some shape and form. And she said she'd like to have more confidence to write and perform in Welsh. Your story's an inspiration. Keep it up. Katie, if you're watching this, keep going. We'll collaborate one day. My friends and my family were like, oh, like that's amazing. Like, how did you get into it? Can I join in? I'm like, of course. Hi mum, hi dad, you okay?
Bore da.
Bore da. Can you say that for me please, dad?
Bore da.
Come on.
Siarad Cymraeg.
Siarad Cymraeg.
The journey is not just me, it's everyone, who helps me along the way. Even if it is, trying out conversations and saying different words in Gymraeg and doing it that way.
Allai ddim cofio.
Allai ddim gofio. Allai ddim cofio.
Who said it the best?
Me.
Like and subscribe, guys.
Guys, it hurts me to say that, but my dysgu Cymraeg journey has taken a backseat a little bit. I've had life happen, but that's all done now. I'm back. I'm Danny. Barod. Dim stopio.
But before I continue on my journey, it's time to catch up with Rhan.
Rhan, hello.
Gabin, how are you?
Hello.
How are you
good,
doing?
bro. I'm good.
So how are you feeling about you had this kind of sort of enforced absence. You've kind of sort of fallen off the horse a little bit. How are you feeling about that?
At first, I was annoyed, if I had to be honest, that something I really want to do has had to take a step back. But now that everything's done, I'm excited to go again. I'm motivated to go again.
So that pick yourself up attitude, that is absolutely key. That takes you to victory, because everybody gets hit by life. Everybody has patches where they don't do what they intended to do, where it's work, it's learning, it's a hobby, whatever it is, it always happens. And one of the biggest problems is if you start to believe because of that, you've lost ground. Yeah. Because then after a while you start to feel guilty, you feel unsuccessful, then eventually people give up, and that's the only way they actually lose. Yeah. But when you're not a giver-upper, when you make that effort again, then you get up and running again. So that's what's about to happen now.
Of course, and I'm not going to give up. Giving up is really, really not an option.
For me, what you're doing here is, part of it is actually a gift for my children, because it helps make their lives that little bit more normal, that little bit more ordinary. They won't have to be political about speaking the language. It's just more and more normal and fine. And somebody who does something that makes life a little bit better for my kids, well, I'll walk over hot coals for that person. What's next? What's next for you? Do we need to have another intensive day?
Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm Danny.
Superb.
Danny.
Gabin, it's so good to see you, boy. Can't wait to see you again.
Me too. I'm excited.
Excited.
Five. Bow.
So that's what we did. We had another intensive day at Lufkin Coffee in Grangetown.
Hello, Aaron.
Gabin, good to see you, boy.
It's good to see you.
I was a little bit nervous, but I was excited to get started again.
We'll just jump in and nail the end of challenge 4.
We had some good moments.
Hoffwn ni siarad Cymraeg gyda ti.
Da iawn.
Dwi'n mynd I siarad Cymraeg. Dwi'n mynd I siarad
Dwi'n
Cymraeg.
hoffi hynna.
And some not so good moments.
Dwi wedi...
No. Dysgu Cymraeg.
Newydd.
But overall, I was super happy with how much I could remember.
You're sitting here and you're saying, I want to speak Welsh with all of you, and I'm knowing that's going to happen. Heddiw, mae wedi bod yn hynod ddiddorol achos y gwir ydy, dydy Gabin ddim wedi cael llawer iawn o amser I fwrw ati ers diwrnod dwys diwetha. Rwan, mae o wedi cael y profiad o beidio gweithio a wedyn sylweddoli fod yn iawn iddo fod dal ymlaen o lewdd o wedi cyrraedd tro diwetha. A mae hynny yn dealltwriaeth gwirioneddol pwysig I ddysgwr.
Dwi'n mynd I
ddweud beth dwi'n meddwl.
Mae wedi llwyddo I wneud brawddegau hirion iawn, rhywbeth doedd o ddim wedi gwneud y tro cyntaf.
Dwi wedi anghofio siwr I dweud beth o'n I mwyn dweud.
Da iawn. Gabin, ti'n siarad Cymraeg? Mae fwy hyderus yn naturiol, ond dwi'n credu rwan fod o'n dechrau gweld cynnydd mewn ffordd newydd. Dwi'n meddwl fod o'n dechrau cynhyrfu amdano fo, a mae hynny yn rhoi y fath egni sydd yn helpu rhywun I lwyddo.
Hoffwn ni siarad Gymraeg gyda ti. Hoffwn ni siarad Cymraeg gyda ti. Hoffwn ni siarad Cymraeg gyda ti. It's gonna happen.
Gabin, what a superb day's work. I am so proud of you.
We are currently outside the best recording studio in Cardiff, Silk Crayon. And I'm gonna meet two friends, two people that I hold very close to my heart. And they're very familiar faces on Hansh too.
I've been friends with Dom and Lloyd for a couple of years now, and they're talented creatives in their own respect, and it's very inspiring to see how well they've done using the Welsh language.
What's your favourite word in Welsh?
I like the word bendigedig, just how it flows.
Yeah, the way you say it, you bounce on
don't
every
say
single.
Don't get me wrong.
Bendigedig. Shavi. I like shavi.
Shavi. But do you want to tell him what it means?
Lick. But yo, man, there ain't nothing like that though. I mean, I like licking ice cream.
Say again.
Shavi. Shavi.
Dwi'n chill, bro. Dwi'n chill.
Fi'n cario. You're getting it. But that's one of the things I say about this language, because people disrespect Welsh sometimes, and I'm going to tell this to people because you're not just out here speaking a language, you're out here literally speaking poetry when you're speaking, because the way the words go into each other is crazy. And when you do get it right, it's one of the most beautiful languages in the world, for sure. And you can hear, it's kind of like, it's weird, but you can kind of hear the history through speaking. You can remember, it's kind of like you're reminiscing when you're hearing it. Because I remember, I grew up around loads of Welsh families, and they were all the clock shot, the dawnsio gwerin, all of it. And you hear that and you see that, you grow up in that, and you're probably the same, innit? Because you're in a court. I know you're in a court because I see videos of you. Eisteddfod, yeah, of course! Shout out to Eisteddfod. I don't know what. Eisteddfod. Yo, a cadad as well.
It's with the poetry, isn't it?
Poetry.
And then the winner of the poetry gets the cadad, and they're basically like the
legendary.
best poet.
You're in Welsh history then, and I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to be the first Welsh rappers to win The
Cadai, do you reckon?
A Cadai, for sure. Don't even put us down, bro. We're going to be.
I'll put whatever money on that.
How much you got then? Because I need some food later.
You can't talk finance. Do you guys have any advice for me when it comes to learning Welsh? And what does it mean to you to speak the language, and what impact does it have on your careers as well?
So what I'd say, obviously learn the basics, obviously get all that stuff learned, but also don't put boundaries on how you learn. If you're saying a sentence and you catch yourself, it's okay to put a little English word in there just to help you through, because you'll get better over time, but it's more about not putting boundaries, because people have said before that Welsh has seemed like quite an elitist language where it's just like the top, you have to be able to speak, everything has to be perfect pronunciations, but it's not true. You know, especially being in Cardiff, there's a lot of variations of ways of speaking Welsh, so and if you make a mistake, it's a mistake, do you know what I mean? It's a new language you're learning, it's a whole new thing, do you know what I mean? So it's going to be hard, and what it means to me, probably, even though I didn't know it, it's probably a big saviour for me, because I got to spread my wings and meet new people that I probably would never have met, and just seeing the Welsh culture and how beautiful it actually is. The Welsh language to me is a symbol of strength, unity and power, and it goes to my black side then where I can say, okay, I feel like those are the same type of things
values
that we
morals,
take values, so they borrow into each other and it's type of that. So I feel motivation knowing that, you know, that I've got a lot behind me and there's a lot to go forward.
Love that, love that.
To echo what Dom said about not getting bogged down with it too much, especially with the stuff like treiglo, the mutations and stuff, it's so complicated, and like my treiglo's not perfect, my treiglo's crap, but people appreciate like you as a learner. That's massive that you've taken it upon yourself to learn Welsh. Do you mean so?
Doing trio, baby, doing trio.
Exactly, doing trio.
Doing trio.
And I'm just proud to be Welsh anyway, like you are, like Dom is, like we all are. But I just feel like that ability to be able to speak Welsh as well, I'm extra proud about that. And yeah, I just feel like it's just opened so many doors to you and like so many opportunities from being able to speak Welsh. And yeah, it's a blessing really, and it's a pride thing for me, I think, mainly.
Just thinking about it, has there been any trials or tribulations with it?
Trials and tribulations, there definitely has been, because it's moments where you're in a situation where you do feel a bit pushed to the side when it's like, okay, my language isn't up to par with those guys' language and that. But then you just think, there's so many iterations, so many different ways to say things in the Welsh language that you just gotta find what's best for you, work with it that way. Yeah. Because no one's going to be perfect in anything they do, and it's just the beautiful from the start that you're learning the language. So there's going to be trials, of course, but there's going to be some great times with the language, and I feel like you learning it is probably one of the most beautiful things you could do, being in the country of Wales as well. So
yeah, man.
This is what our language is about: is accepting everyone, no matter who you are. And I feel like that's what makes Welsh people so special, is the fact that I've gone to these places where there's been no other black people, there's been no other people there, and I've been accepted like that. And I know there's places that aren't like that in Wales as well, but around the places that I've been and the people that I've got to meet, it's been crazy. So you're in for an amazing ride. You're in for an amazing ride with the language.
I'm here for the journey, bro. I'm here for the journey. How do you say journey in Welsh? Siwrne. Siwrne, that's the word.
Nice.
I'm here for the siwrne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that I would say is just think about the opportunities that can arise if you learn Welsh and you got that language and you get to really display who you are and traditions, you know what I mean? Yeah. And you got us brothers here as well to help you out. You need anything, we got you.
I've got a beautiful support system.
Fi'n meddwl, a fi wastad yn dweud hynny pobl sy'n fel siarad Cymraeg, fel dysgu fel oedolyn, mae'n iaith anodd I pigo lan fel oedolyn. Ni'n lwcus bod ni wedi mynd I fel ysgol gynradd Cymraeg a wedyn ysgol uwchradd oherwydd wedyn chi'n dysgu a mae ddim fel chi'n dysgu, pam chi'n plentyn, chi jyst yn pigo fel lan, ife? So fi wastad yn edmygu pobl sy'n dysgu a eisiau dysgu pan maen nhw'n oedolion oherwydd mae fe yn challenge, ond fi'n cyffroes I weld pan mae'n gallu siarad Cymraeg yn rhugl.
Fi'n meddwl bod Gabs nawr yn dysgu Cymraeg, fi'n meddwl bod e'n dweud rhywbeth am pwy yw Gabs, y ffaith bod e'n byw yn Cymru, y ffaith bod e'n bwy di, a y ffaith bod wedi dweud, you know what, fi eisiau dysgu bach o Cymraeg. A mae jyst yn really neis I gweld bod iaith, mae ddim boundaries, mae unrhyw un yn gallu dod I dysgu'r iaith.
So, I've had a really good week. It's been a really eventful, inspiring, encouraging week. I had my intensive lesson with Rhan, which just put me back on track, which is what I needed. And Rhan's great, my boy. love him, Carry T. And also I saw Dom and Lloyd, who talked to me, gave me a lot of advice, motivation, and reminded me that making mistakes is important, and I love them for that. Carry T, again. And now, I've had my break. I'm back in the car. I'm on the accelerator. I'm going. And we're gonna go right until the end for this journey. Dysgu Cymraeg, I'm Danny. Dim stopio. See you next time.
Mae Gabin Learns enjoyo, dwi ddim I mynd I stopo. Yeah. Yeah.